A priest and a nun are caught in a blizzard. They find a deserted cabin and take shelter, where they find a sleeping bag, a bed, and a pile of blankets. The priest, being a gentleman, offers the nun the bed and takes the sleeping bag for himself. As they get tucked in for the night, the nun calls out, "Father, Father, I'm cold." So the priest gets up and puts another blanket on the nun. "Is that better, sister?" he asks. "Yes, Father, very much," she replies. He gets back in his sleeping bag and starts to nod off when she calls out again, "Father, I'm still cold." Once again, the priest gets up and puts another blanket on her, ensuring she is tucked into the bed. "Is that better, sister?" he asks. "Oh, yes, Father, that's much better," she says. The priest gets himself back into the sleeping bag and is just starting to dream when he wakes up to her calling out, "Father, Father, I'm just so cold." The priest thinks long about this and finally says, "Sister, we are in the middle of nowhere in a blizzard. No one but you, myself, and the Lord himself will ever know what happens here tonight. How about just for this night we act as though we were married?" The nun thinks about this for a minute. She can't help but admit to herself she's been curious and finally answers, "Okay, Father, just for tonight, we will act as though we are married." "Great," the father replies. "Get up and get your own damn blanket." A first-grade teacher was having trouble with one of her students who was being extremely rude in class. So one day she asked little Johnny, "What's your problem?" He replied, "I'm too smart for the first grade. My sister's in the third grade and I'm smarter than her too." The teacher took him to the principal's office and explained the situation to the principal. The principal told her that he would give Johnny a test, and if he failed to answer one question correctly, he would have to go back to the first grade and be quiet. The teacher and Johnny both agreed. The principal asked, "What's 3-3? Johnny replied, 9. 6-6? Asked the principal. 36, Johnny quickly replied. It continued on like this for almost an hour. The principal asked Johnny every question a third grader should know, and he answered them all correctly. Finally, the principal told the teacher, "I see no reason Johnny can't go to the third grade. He answered all of my questions right." The teacher asked if she could ask him some questions. The principal and Johnny agreed, so the teacher asked, "What does a cow have 4 of?" "I only have 2 of," Johnny replied. "Legs," Johnny replies. The teacher then asks, "What do you have in your pants that I don't have?" The principal gasps, but before he can stop him from answering, Johnny says, "Pockets." Then the teacher asks, "What does a dog do that a man steps into?" Johnny says, "Pants." Finally, the teacher asks, "What starts with F, ends with K, and means a lot of excitement?" "For truck," says Johnny. The principal breathes a big sigh of relief and then says, "Put Johnny in the 5th grade. I got the last 4 questions wrong myself." A doctor goes out and buys the best car on the market, a brand new Ferrari GTO. It is also the most expensive car in the world, and it costs him $500,000. He takes it out for a spin and stops at a red light. An old man on a moped, looking about 100 years old, pulls up next to him. The old man looks over at the sleek, shiny car and asks, "What kind of car you got there, sonny?" The doctor replies, "A Ferrari GTO. It cost me $500,000. "That's a lot of money," says the old man. "Why does it cost so much?" "Because this car can..."